Joel from Palamos. This is the Rorschach, Georgia update from the 16th of July, 2026. Quick summary of what's going down in Georgia. Sunday the 12th, catastrophic flash flood hit the eastern city of Telavi after the local river overflowed during torrential rain. River swept mud, trees, and big rocks down central avenues, tearing up asphalt and destroying a key bridge. Torrent flooded ground floor homes, pharmacies, and shops, forcing emergency crews to evacuate several families. Storm also cut power and gas to thousands of residents. Out in the wider Cajete region, rivers burst their banks, ruining local vineyards and the upcoming harvest. Angry residents and experts blamed local officials for the disaster, pointing to neglected mud flow barrier dams and poorly engineered bridges that easily clog with debris. Link to the video in the show notes. On Friday the 10th, Tbilisi City Court sentenced opposition politician Aleko Eliashvili, a member of the Lelo party, to 13 years in prison on terrorism charges. Court convicted Eliashvili over a November 2025 incident where he used a hammer to smash a courthouse window, enter the building, poured gasoline inside. The guards stopped him before he could set the fire. Eliashvili admitted to this act, calling it a desperate protest against police brutality and government authoritarianism. However, he strongly denied a second separate charge, blaming him for a May 2025 courthouse archive arson, which his lawyer called a setup. Supporters called the trial a political reprisal. Public defender Levan Yoseliani publicly condemned the 13-year sentence, saying that courts handed down far shorter terms to United National Movement or Natsebi officials who were accused of torture and abuse of power. On Monday the 13th, a tragic car accident in the center of Gori took the lives of a mother and her 3-year-old daughter. A heavily intoxicated driver sped through a faded, barely visible zebra crossing, striking them both. Tragedy sparked deep grief and anger. Residents spontaneously gathered at the crash site, leaving flowers, candles, and toys on the faded crossing. Anger intensified when prosecutors revealed that the suspect had an extensive history of reckless driving, accumulating 232 video camera fines, mostly for speeding. Yet the driver remained behind the wheel. For the past 10 years, road accidents in Georgia have claimed 5,324 lives, with fatalities reaching 469 in 2025 alone. The driver now faces up to 12 years in prison. Tuesday the 14th, defense attorneys in Tbilisi closed-door sabotage trial revealed that the prosecution's official indictment names the United States as a hostile state. The ongoing trial prosecutes 8 prominent opposition leaders over the massive post-election protests of late 2024. State's case relies on a complaint by the government-affiliated group United Neutral Georgia. During testimonies, the group's members asserted that the CIA financed and orchestrated a domestic coup attempt through USAID, working with the accused politicians. They also identified European leaders, including Ursula von der Leyen, as supporters of this alleged network. Defense lawyers maintain that the prosecution has presented no physical evidence and expects a final verdict by early August. On Saturday the 11th, Josep Sigua, the head of Georgia's organized crime division, resigned following his wife's public account of 13 years of severe domestic abuse. The story went public after TV Pirveli investigative show Shabati Seteri broadcast Sopio Sigua's testimony, where she accused her husband of constant physical violence and death threats. Instead of protecting her, the police consistently ignored her pleas for help, even tipping Sigua off about her complaints. Cover-up only collapsed when intense public outrage forced authorities to finally fit the police chief with a GPS ankle monitor, triggering his resignation the very next morning. On Friday the 10th, the Tbilisi City Court fined opposition television host Vacha Sanaya 6,000 lari, which is $2,300, over satirical social media posts targeting government figures. The former TV journalist mockingly urged his followers not to call ruling party affiliate Lado Bojadze and parliamentary speaker Shalva Papuashvili dicks, making fun of a restrictive law designed to shield public officials from insults. Prosecution stems from a new unit within the Interior Ministry that actively monitors online commentary without requiring public complaints. While authorities defend the unit as an impartial arbiter of public decency, human rights advocates see it as a dangerous expansion of state censorship aimed at crushing dissent. Last week, we covered the story of Matthew Roy Desmond, a British war veteran who spent 3 months in a Tbilisi prison after police arrested him in April for carrying prescription pain medication for a spinal injury without the right international paperwork. This week, Desmond reached a plea deal. He agreed to plead guilty and pay a massive 100,000 lari fine, which is about $38,000 US. Following a payment, the state will release him, deport him from the country, and bar him from re-entry for 20 years. On Monday, the 13th, EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas stated that the EU has no contact with the Georgian government and no desire to support it. Responding to a question from Euroscope ahead of the foreign ministers' meeting, Kallas explained that while implementing the Black Sea security strategy launched last year, the EU now has to make a specific effort regarding Georgia because of this lack of contact. She emphasized that European leaders want to support the Georgian people so they don't lose hope regarding Europe. On Wednesday, the 8th, the Kharagauli Municipal Council in western Georgia was caught photoshopping an independent journalist out of an official photo. The local outlet, Shemi Kharagauli, noticed the official Facebook post included a doctored image showing an empty space where their reporter, Nino Kapanadze, had been sitting between the two officials. After the outlet confronted the deputy mayor, the council quietly replaced the edited image with the original. The incident sparked widespread online mockery, with some comparing it to Soviet-era censorship where purged individuals were scrubbed from historical photographs. On Friday the 10th, Lasha Letodiani, a municipal council member in the western town of Tsagheri and member of the People's Power, a satellite party of the ruling Georgian Dream, or Kotsevi, was arrested on charges of supporting a criminal underworld. Letodiani's attorney stated that his client denied the charges and is requesting release on 10,000 lari bail. Councilman was one of 29 individuals arrested in a massive crackdown targeting people involved in the criminal underworld. On Thursday the 9th, a report by local watchdog ISFED revealed that more than 1,500 fake Facebook accounts were deployed to artificially boost support for the Kotsevi founder, Ivanishvili. The bot network was mobilized under the May 26th Independence Day post by pro-government TV channel Imedi, which juxtaposed the billionaire oligarch alongside iconic anti-Soviet independence leaders Sviat Gamzakhoria and Meram Kostava. While the controversial graphic initially drew widespread public backlash and mockery, ISFED found that a massive coordinated network using AI-generated photos and stolen foreign identities was used to manipulate the comments section and reaction ratios. When asked about the findings, Tbilisi Mayor Kachi Kaladze dismissed the report as speculation, saying that Ivanishvili's legacy would be written in golden letters in Georgia's history. On Monday the 13th, Giga Beruashvili published a story on OC Media titled, "When Culture Becomes Dissent, Gori Art House's Uncertain Future," shedding light on a local creative hub's fight against targeted government repression. The article details how artists turned an abandoned, trash-filled Soviet ruin into a thriving cultural space. But when they hosted an exhibition protesting the ruling party's pro-Russian turn, the local municipality tried to kick them out, cutting off their electricity and water. Although their legal battle now rests with Georgia's Supreme Court, the defiant artists refused to shut down, promising to host guerrilla art events across the city if they lose their building. Link to the full article in the show notes. And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. Anything to ask or tell us, email us at info@rorschach.com. We would love it if you just sent the link to this podcast update about Georgia to at least 3 of your friends. Thank you. Nachman bis.